Welcome to another of our new series of growth chats. Today's growth chat is on a topic that is very near and dear to Steve, and if you know of any of his work besides this YouTube channel, you can probably guess what acronym we will be discussing.
It's an acronym that's known as FIRE, Financial Independence Early Retirement. Those are two very different concepts. The financial independence part implies that through building wealth, through side hustles, through passive income, through investments, you've achieved enough money to live the rest of your life while standing a reasonably good chance of never running out of money again. So you don't have to work a full-time job, though you could if you wanted to. And then the other element of FIRE is the early retirement part, which is actually taking that next step after achieving FI. You quit your job and you do more or less what we do, not the travel, but whatever you want during the day. You get to plan your entire day from start to finish without having to work a full-time job. That is a big part of our lives,
yes.
And I think it's really made who we are. Who we are.
Exactly. I mean, you just did a video explaining our whole FIRE journey story a couple weeks ago, right? So
That's right.
We should link to that for you guys if you didn't see it. We've discussed many times that while the FI part of FIRE we believe is something that everyone should be aiming for and everyone can achieve at some point, maybe not at 35, but at some point, that the RE part, the retire early part, is not necessarily for everyone.
That's right. That's right. And I don't want this, whenever we talk about FIRE, I don't want this to be a competition or for people to think of it as a race. Yes, we did this super early in life. Most people aren't going to be able to because they have a variety of struggles.
Yes.
That we didn't have to endure.
True.
So we feel fortunate in our position. But I think there's still a lot of wisdom and a lot that people can do to really get at that FI part.
Because, and why should they? I mean,
yeah, and I was just going to say, you might like your job now, you might like your boss now, you might think everything is hunky-dory, but as we've seen via the pandemic, the worldwide pandemic, things change on a dime. I'm sure a lot of us in February, like a job loss was like the last thing on our mind.
Yeah. Or both people in a relationship losing their jobs.
A
lot of people have the backup plan of, well, if I lose my job, my spouse won't. Well, you never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. And there's certain elements of FI that we took and that most people take to achieve that level of finance. I mean, there's your emergency fund. Whether you want to achieve FI or not, an emergency fund is incredibly beneficial because if you do lose your job tomorrow, how long can you withstand your current lifestyle and be okay?
Yeah.
I like to encourage people to save for 6 months as a starting point. Of course, you start small, but then you continually build up. There's investments, which is what provides a lot of people who have achieved FI their money for their lifestyle, or it could be real estate.
Yeah. So I think one of the things we didn't touch on, like, yes, you're saving this just in case something happens, but it's also to give yourself the freedom, which is why financial freedom is another term, the freedom to make decisions, big life decisions, without having money be a number of the high factor in that decision.
Without having to think about money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if and when something happens that you did not expect, whether good or bad in your life, money and the need to keep making money to live is taken out of the equation, and you can choose things based on what's truly important, like your values, your family, your friends, your happiness. It's not because I have to keep that paycheck in order to live. And I think that is a major reason why I think most people, everybody, should get the idea that financial freedom, financial independence is a goal that they should be reaching for. And I think that's the first step. The first step is not saving for emergencies. The first step is not, I mean, that's a good thing to do. But the first step is really getting your mind, the mindset that financial independence, financial freedom,
decide you want it,
is probably one of the most important things you can work for in your entire life, for yourself and for your family.
That's right. Yeah. And I think the process that most people take to achieve FI is they understand the wealth building equation. Income plus investments minus your lifestyle is how much money you have.
Yes.
And a lot of people, I think, don't appreciate the lifestyle part quite as much as we probably did.
Yeah.
We did make good money. We both worked in IT, but we also saved 70% of our income. We sold both of our houses, moved into an Airstream. We live in a 100% off-grid house. So our lifestyle is really what enabled us to achieve FIRE this early in
Exactly.
life.
And a lot of people would say we sacrificed a lot in order to do this.
Oh, I've been accused of that. I think we both have.
That is the mindset I was talking about. In our heads, we did not sacrifice. We have everything we need. We have more than what we need. We are very happy.
Have you seen our happy hours?
Yeah, I know. We just realized that freedom of not having to worry about money was worth not having the thing we wanted right now to have. Because
instant gratification kind of thing.
Yeah, like...
Or expensive vacations, or the vacation home, or the expensive dinners.
Or like the brand new cell phone, or
Every year,
what. Yeah.
yeah.
We sat down, like you said, we saved 70% of our income, but we also talked through, and still do,
every single purchase.
Every single purchase that's not a normal purchase for the household. And we even talk through the normal purchases every once in a while.
In fact, our restaurant budget at one point was like $50 a month, which pales in comparison to most people's, including mine in a previous life.
Yeah. Just because even though you love restaurants and would probably choose that over almost anything else, it wasn't worth it at the time.
I wanted FIRE more than I wanted to go out to eat.
Yes.
And I wanted FIRE more than living in a traditional life where I go to work and commute. And I wanted that more, and I think you did too.
Exactly. And that's us. So that's another thing. A lot of people think, well, they did this crazy thing. They sold their houses. They moved into an Airstream. Like, I can't do that. I have a family. I have responsibilities.
Not everyone will be able to
And so I'm not going to be able to do what they did. Not exactly. I mean, no one should do exactly what we did. They're not us. But
for sure,
it's all about getting that idea in your head that FIRE, or FI at least, is worth it. And then doing what that means for your life. And maybe that does not mean giving the things up that we gave up. Maybe those things are important to you and they contribute greatly to your happiness, and then you should keep them. But it's the fact that you thought about it that's really important.
That's right. Not everyone's going to be able to do this in their 30s, but there's a lot that most people can do to begin cutting back a little bit, like those subscription fees every month, the cable TV, the magazines that you may or may not use. Those things all add up. And I think that if we just tick away at these over time, then the process of downsizing our lifestyle gets easier as we go. And I think most of us can get a lot closer to FI than I think a lot of us care to admit or want to admit to ourselves.
It's very true. And it's all in that mindset. It's all in that
absolutely.
idea
It all begins up here, just like we talked about last week in the growth mindset. Yeah. It all begins up here.
Yep. Because it makes it, you can keep going. We can do hard things, as Glennon Doyle says. You can keep going when you have that why.
That's right.
The end result. We talked about FI a lot. There's the RE part.
Yes.
The retire early part.
And that's just taking the next step.
Yeah.
But I think there's a reason why the majority of this chat is FI, not the RE.
Because it's the most important part.
And
it's going to take the longest.
Yeah. And you don't have to quit your job just because you achieved FI.
No.
We happen to, because I hated corporate America, but there's no rule that says you need to.
Yeah, and we quit our full-time jobs, but we both still quote unquote work.
Yeah, we have the YouTube channel. I write. You knit.
Yeah, I design patterns. It's things that matter to us, and if they make money, great. But that's what we chose to do with our time. Now that we don't have to work.
We don't have to make money,
yeah.
But if we do, great. It's beer money.
Yes.
But if we don't, no big deal.
Exactly. So I think that's a pretty good description of FIRE.
Yeah.
Many of you already probably knew about FIRE because you've probably followed along a little bit on this journey, but this may be new to some. If we didn't explain anything well enough, if you have more questions on any specific parts of it, or really anything like that, leave it in the comments below because we'll talk more about it and continue growing.
That's right. Thanks for watching. And we will we see them next time?
Yeah.
I think we'll see them next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To growth.
She has water. I have tea.
Yeah, because it's the morning and we just finished working out, and hydration.